shoulders. But Esther is going to need all of us to keep. He never pushes you away. Now that I've introduced Mr. Chairman, ideally I would have asked Mr. Chairman to give us his acceptance speech. He has accepted already. I have done the acceptance speech for him already. But what is the purpose for which we are here? Why are we here today? We're here because of a young girl who was born and was blessed with talent, running talent. She nurtured this talent, and in the late 90s, thereabouts, she started shining. She went through the ranks, got to the national level. So she's been at the Africa Junior Championship. She's been at the Africa Senior Championship. She's been at the Africa Athletics Championship. She's been to the All Africa Games. She's been to the Commonwealth Games. She's been to the Olympics. And she's been to the World Championship. It all started somewhere in Community 7 in Tema. We didn't know. But this was a gem that has continued to shine wherever she is. But she also has a passion, because her growing up period was not as smooth as all of us. But it touched her heart that wherever I get to, I can also extend a helping hand, touch somebody, and support somebody. She will come up here and tell her own story. I have been privileged to have worked with her on her foundation over the last couple of years. But the story is best told by the person herself. Before I let her come and take over the podium, let me also introduce Mr. Lawrence Asiedu. Asiedu is one of our national athletes. Mr. Lawrence Asiedu knew me when I was in class something. That's how far back. Yes. Lawrence knew me when I was like this. Lawrence, together with my elder brother, were privileged to have also showed their athletic talent, both locally and internationally. So when I see most of our former athletes, I have a soft spot for them. Because I remember those days, and those were the good old mobile days. I follow them everywhere. Accra Mobile, I'll be there. Kumasi Mobile Games, I will go. And so most of the athletes around that time knew me from when I was little. And they always laughed at my brother. Hey, Lavon, every time your young brother, your little brother is following you, as if I will run one day. But my skills didn't go to running, unfortunately. But it's been a blessing to have them, because they've almost always been guiding us. One of the few coaches that coached them, Pa Willie, I understand there's a program for him. At some point, Esther, we'll pay homage to Pa Willie. Let's talk about the good work that some people have done in this country. When we go out there, we'll tell our story. So, let's put our hands together. Esther, please, join me here. I'm sure at some point we'll have maybe a question and answer, but please, nobody should ask how she has kept her figure. Don't ask. That's another story. Esther, over to you.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone to come here and support me this evening. A little bit nervous, but I think I'll be okay. As how Mr. Prince said, I'm a national athlete, but now I'm trying to retire because I'm getting old. I need to settle down for something else too. And I have this passion for, I remember 99 after the All African Games in South Africa. After returning back, I started training gradually, and then I left again. So after the 2000 Olympic Games, I decided to go back to, which is Germany, but unfortunately, I was there, it didn't went well, so I have to come to Holland. And the moment I was in Holland, it was not easy. It was really tough there. But then I was working at the Ghana Immigration Service. I got a call that, hey, Esther, so I want to retire, I want to resign, I may resign, I be you ready. I said, why? I'll be back. But then I have to be really fast and write a letter to resign. So then the plan was not the way it went, the way I planned. I want it. So doing Holland, the first 2 years was tough. I didn't have papers, walking out here and there, here and there. Then one day there was a one indoor, so the Dutch national team invited me. I was there, and then one of the journalists came to me, hey, Esther, what do you want me to do for you? I looked at him and said, I don't have papers, so if you can help me to get the papers, I'll be glad. I thought it was a joke. So he was like, okay, if you have a lawyer, call a lawyer, and then I can help you. Okay. So I called a friend of mine. She was in the national team, on the Dutch national team. I was like, hey, mommy, do you know a lawyer who's really good who can help me? Like, for what? I said, for my papers. Okay, wait, Monday. So the Monday we went there and see the lawyer. And the lawyer was like, oh, we saw you on the television, you won, but you are not Dutch. I said, no, I don't have papers either. So he was like, okay, Esther, I will help you. So all of them put their head together. That moment, they put things together, and then I have to come back to Ghana. And then the process, I was supposed to spend 3 months in Ghana, but 2 weeks, they called me, Esther, come and pick up your papers and leave. So then when I went back, and then I said, okay, now I have the papers, I'm competing. But there was something I really want to do, because I remember where I come from. So I started the foundation to help some of the street children by myself. And then anytime I'll be in Ghana every year, just give some few donations now and then. And every year it gets bigger and bigger. So this foundation is working for 10 years now. But the reason why this foundation was registered, it was not time, so I was not ready to talk about the problem. And the reason why was sexual abuse. And because I was not ready myself, I didn't want to target the situation, because I have to be strong enough to talk about it. So then somebody who hear about the story will be convinced. So I have to start seeing a specialist to get the treatment, to get help. And it took really long time. It took more than 8 years before I was able to handle it. So then this year, I told myself that, Esther, this is the time you have to start the journey, the real journey of this foundation. So I called Mr. Prince that, hey, this is what I want to do. It's time for me to talk about this issue. So that's the story about me, because I was born in Tema, Community 7. I was raised there. But unfortunately, during the journey, my father lost everything. So we end up have to move. My senior brother have to start working to get money to help the family, the small ones coming. He really did a good job taking care of, but according to my brothers and my parents, they said I was crying a lot. They said I can cry a lot. So they moved me from, we moved to Dankwa, and then moved from Dankwa to one of the village called Kofijan. From there, I didn't like because in the morning you get this water in the wood things, so it goes all the body, and I didn't feel comfortable. So they moved me from there to Nkoko. So that's where I went to school, the rest of the school. And staying in Nkoko, a lot of things happen, and it makes life difficult for me. And I was living with family, but it was difficult to tell what is going on, because the person who is in question, who was abusing me, always giving a gift. And he always gives the gift in front of everyone. So it's difficult to tell somebody that the person who's doing this is this. They won't believe you. So I keep quiet. about the situation and move on one day at a time, but it keep on going on and on. And there was a time I couldn't handle it anymore. So I developed hatred. And that's the whole thing about sexual abuse. It starts slowly, and then it builds up, and you don't get anybody to support you, to rescue you from the situation. You have to find a way to fight for yourself. So I started developing. I have to be strong. I have to be grown up quick to defend myself in the situation. But still, it didn't work because there was too much threat coming on from there. So it keep on. It was from class 5. I was class 5 or class 4 then, so GSS 3. And one day, I couldn't handle it. I was so much in pain that I decided I decided that I have to make a plan how I can get out from the situation. So I have to cause chaos to let my parents to come there. So I tried to kill my step-grandfather because that was the only way I can do to survive and get out from the situation. So the plan did work. So they called my parents to come and get me from there. So they came. The time they were there, I'm already packed my stuff, everything already, waiting to leaving the place. So I left. They came. They took me back to Tema. But then, how am I going to tell my parents? Because the moment I tell them, I was afraid the family would destroy it. It would divide it. So I have to keep all this burden. I'm carrying the family burden. I'm carrying my own problems. So I have to, only thing I did find in that situation was the running. So anytime I'm in pain, if I take my shoes, I put it on, I start running, the time I'll return, I'm okay. So then that was my first therapy. It was helping me going on. But then 2005, I was in a competition, in a Grand Prix. And I was in the final, and I know this final, the first second I will be there to get my money. I was targeting some money in there. And then all of a sudden, the whole body shut down. Only thing I can feel is the tears, and the tears going in is like a blood. I can taste my own blood. And that moment, I did feel like I never, ever trained before. It's like nothing, something just left. And that moment, I didn't care about anything anymore. So after that, my coach asked me, Esther, what is wrong with you? I said, I don't even know what is going on. But meanwhile, deep inside, I know because I was depressing all the problems, everything, I'm keeping it, and it was too full to carry it again. So I told my coach that, hey, I don't know what is going on. But then I went back home, I started closing the whole curtains. I closed everything in the house. And then everybody calls, I don't pick up. I just want to be by myself. So one day, I decided, okay, what is next? I said, okay, let me end my life then. Unfortunately, I tried, but it didn't work. I wake up in the morning, my eye open. It's like, really? I'm here again? So I start moving on again, start training, but nothing was working anymore. So I said, okay, let me try another thing. So I went to buy this alcohol I never drink before, like 3 bottles, really strong one. I just drink everything. I cover myself to sleep. I wake up without headache. I was like, but I thought they said this alcohol is so strong can even put you in the hospital. But why I'm still here without headache? So that is the moment. The third time, I said, then let it go. So then I have to find out how I can get out from this situation. So then I called my coach. I said, Paul, I have a problem. And I can't tell you, but I need help. So that moment, they sent me to the hospital. They start asking questions, and then they said, this situation is so heavy to the extent that only talk alone cannot help you. So they have to put me asleep to revisit the past. It was not easy to revisit something you don't want to remember anymore, but then you have to go in again. So it took 1 year to get better from that. And then after 1 year, they find out that not only I got a problem with the physical, the mental, I got a problem too with the physical. So one of my egg was not working. I got a lot of damage inside, and they have to do a lot of operation to fix some stuff. But then I was already grown up because it's long time, so some of the damage they couldn't fix. So then I have to let it go and move on in life. So they told me I can't have children, and I can't have children. But then, by His grace, I did have. Now I have a daughter, one daughter. She's almost 5 years now, and she's doing good. So then I sit down, and then I decided then I have to help the other girls and boys. They are in this situation. It's not helping them to put anybody in jail, but themselves, they can have peace for themselves. Because if you have peace and forgiveness, you can move forward, you can go forward in life. So the moment the forgiveness comes and the help comes in, they can have another something they can focus on. Because I was lucky that I turned into a spouse to reach where I was. But some girls and some other ones doesn't have that strength and the power, so they choose the other way around. Some of them start doing a prostitute work or other stuff. It's not good for them. At the end, they didn't want to do, but the situation put them there. So if we start getting help from them, talk about it. Let them know it's not their fault. Let them know that whatever it is, we love you. We are here for you. Then that alone is one step in the whole problem. So getting that help in the mental, getting them help, and then the physical, and help them to move forward in life. In other stuff, they are good at it. We can add the sports or other stuff to add it to it to help them, because they can't speak for themselves. They need somebody to stand up for them, to be an ambassador for them. Some of them can be afraid to talk to their parents about it, because I was afraid that they won't believe me. So I didn't. But then you have to have somebody you can trust a little bit to share what is going on with you. Then you can get help for that. And in Ghana, it's difficult to talk about this sexual abuse topic. But I think if we can start talking about it, the young ones will know that they matters. Because sometimes they feel like they don't matter because of what happened to them. Other people will look at them that they are not worth it because they contribute. They want it too. But as a